Hello, I want to tell you about your guide today. Well, she's me. So, thought I would share a little bit about my history, how I'm put together, and what brings me to this point in time where I'm interested in helping you find more truth about who you are. I was born and reared in Miami, Florida during the 1960s and 1970s of two public educators. My mom was a first grade teacher. My father was a junior high PE teacher and coach. My mother worked with women and families, helping set up their children's early education careers so that they would be successful in school. And she really enjoyed helping the parents in a sort of a, I guess, corroborating way so they could help their student become successful in school, feel good about school and their education. And my father was a gymnast, and he found PE because he was active and athletic. He was a swimming instructor, so he would do that some summers between the school year, and a driver's ed instructor. So I grew up with educators. My youngest sister has a degree in education, and she's a substitute teacher. I'm the middle of three daughters and the middle of three triplets, two of whom, well, couldn't survive. So I'm the lone surviving triplet. And what else? Oh, so then I went to Auburn University in Auburn, Alabama, in the early 80s, got a degree in social work, also found a husband and got married before my senior year. And when he and I graduated, we moved to Colorado for his military career, and that's why I'm here in Colorado Springs. So I was a military spouse, and my first career was really a volunteer. I was a military spouse, stay-at-home mom, and community volunteer. So I volunteered helping women in women's programs. I mentored and supported women in a context of whatever their setting was. In a volunteer capacity, I volunteered with local community efforts, such as hiring a principal of a new elementary school that was opening, organizing Bible studies. I was a church volunteer and ran women's programs and taught vacation Bible school. And then when my youngest child, I have three children, when the youngest was almost 15, I got a divorce from their father and went to graduate school and got my master's degree in counseling and human services. And then after I graduated, I opened my private practice called Beyond Beautiful, because women have a core value of relationship. And when they get healthier, everyone in their life benefits. They're already beautiful, but then when they have emotional well-being, they go beyond their natural beauty. And that's why I named my business Beyond Beautiful, because I knew I'd be working with women. So I've had my private practice for 13 years now, August 1st of 2008. And I have put together some things that I do with most of my clients. And it's some things that I've applied in my own life. So I'm also in, I say recovery. I'm in recovery for perfectionism, for control avoidance, and for people pleasing. And that's what I language my own health journey as early on. So that's been 17 years. And I've been learning and growing and becoming more and more who I am. And then in May of 2018, I was told about human design, and I started learning about that, but not really cognitively trying to learn about it, but like letting my human design absorb what it was ready for. And so I am a self-projected projector. I'm a 2-4, right angle cross of the Sphinx 2. Basically, I'm here to up-level the culture. And I do that one-on-one, or in groups, or in speaking. I'm also a poet, but it's not the kind of poetry that you think of. It's like my whole system almost has to throw up what it's feeling in words on a paper in my journaling. So I've also published a book of my own poetry and my friend's photographs from her family's trip to Italy, because it's multi-sensory, the book. And right now I give it away. It's part of programs and packages that I'm putting together with a new business called Beyond Beautiful Pathways. And what Pathways is about is, I said in a recent podcast interview that it's a Valerie 3.0. So it's taking my creative outlets outside of the counseling session. So it's like taking my creative support on the road. Whereas with clinical counseling, I'm in a 50-minute, it's a clinical hour of session where I'm paid for the hour. But really, they're paying for my expertise and support. I also, during a PhD period, I resigned from my PhD in October of 2020. And what I was doing in the PhD was studying what it was about me and other women who get into long-term relationships with men with autistic traits that maybe have never been diagnosed, or they have incomplete diagnoses, or there's some difficulty with social and emotional engagement, especially with their primary partner, which is the women that I work with. And I found this over time, and I've been looking at what supports these women. So I was working on my developmental trauma and how I've been married to and dating men with autism, but they don't know it. Well, one of them did. And so I really wanted to understand what the history of that was. So I've developed what I call a neurotypical partner advocate, which is what I call what I do. So I have let me go back to the course. So the online course is called Process Poetry Using Language to Discover Your True Self. It's a 6-unit, 13-material online course that you can access through my website, beyondbeautiful.net/education. And all of the non-clinical parts of my website will be moving over to beyondbeautifulpathways.com. I'm working on that now, which is what this video is for. How much to say about that? We're up to 9 minutes now. There's a lot I want to offer the culture outside of the clinical hour and outside of what I can do in a clinical setting under the parameters set by the state of Colorado. And because I want to incorporate the creative pursuits that I've come to find are helpful for me. Let's leave it at that. Yes. Anyway, so let me know if you have any questions for me, because I like answering your questions. Let me know if you have feedback. I appreciate you watching this. All right, I hope you have a good day. Bye.